An estate sale refers to the professionally managed resale of personal property.
Walk me through an estate sale.
We get a phone call and we start asking some questions. Tell me about your situation. Tell me what you're planning on selling. And they usually say, well, I'm calling to get some more information about having an estate sale. The ability for us to help any client is a function of the volume, value, and variety of items that they are looking to sell. So in order for us to be effective, they have to have enough stuff in enough categories worth enough money. That information allows us to answer two very simple questions. So is it an on-site estate sale, or should their solution be off-site? So that's question one. Question two is, does it make them money or does it cost them money?
Do you find that out on the call itself, or is the call that they make to you more like a preparing them to answer those questions over, I guess, the next couple interactions with you?
Well, they don't need to answer the questions. I'm the one that needs to answer the question.
Okay.
What they need to do is tell me what's for sale. And then based on that, I can fit it into the formula and say, okay, it is or it is not on site.
Okay.
It will or it will not make them money. So they don't, there's a lot of thinking that they don't have to, that the client doesn't have to do, because it's our job to help them through that process. We do an initial survey by phone.
Okay.
I get a sense of whether it's going to be one project or the other, one model or the other. And there's the on-site or off-site are the two basic models. And then if it makes sense, we will either schedule a video project review where we set up a FaceTime or a Zoom call or whatever, or we schedule an in-person appointment, or we ask them to send us some photos. We also have to gauge the comfort level of the potential client in using technology. And I will tell you that in the last decade, that's got so much easier.
Okay.
So much easier. But the vast majority of people want to see us in person, and that's not a bad thing, because we're able, with a quick walkthrough, so an appointment that lasts typically 45 minutes to an hour and a quarter, we're able to see what's there, assess what's sellable, assess what's not sellable, create an estimate of what we think the project might generate, and answer those two questions: on-site or off-site, make money, cost money. And then once we've done that, the rest of it is, quite frankly, mechanics and logistics. Typically, we can get in to see any project within 1 to 5 days, 1 to 7 days, to take a look at it. But we also deal with a lot of adult children of parents who have either passed or are no longer capable. And sometimes there are real lead times.
What happens now? What happens at that appointment?
We give them an easy, really easy homework assignment. This is not complicated, okay? Right. So the homework assignment is to walk us through the home and tell us in each room what is and what is not for sale. Based on that walkthrough, we will know what the volume, value, and variety of items is that they're planning on selling.
With that homework assignment, is that turned in before you get to the property?
No, we do that. That's the whole point of the meeting. The homework assignment is nothing more than show us what's for sale.
On-site sales are for people who have more stuff. Off-site sales are for like a collection of stuff in case the individual either doesn't want to do on-site or they don't have enough stuff to make an on-site make sense.
Sure. I might have phrased it slightly differently, but yes, that's the right idea. Once we do the walkthrough, we're looking to get to, for an on-site sale, you generally want to have, now this is a general guidance, okay? It is a rule of thumb. It is not a hard and fast thing. We're looking for approximately 600 to 1,200 resaleable lots. So items or groups of items that can be sold during an event with a minimum gross sales value of $10,000 or more. Now we can run these on-site estate sales for slightly lower dollar value than that $10,000 number. So there is some give, there's some flexibility, but you can't go too much lower, because then the economics go upside down if you've got to get the house empty. Let me answer a question that I know you're burning to ask me, which is, what is a lot? What is an item?
Okay. Excellent.
So a set of china, right? Noritake china, some typical pattern, 12 place settings, 5 pieces each. So you're looking at, 72 pieces roughly with serving pieces and all of that. And that set of china is one. It is not 72 or 96 items. It's one set of china.
Right. Okay.
A set, a group of 6 Waterford wine glasses, wine stems, is one item because you
Mm,
don't sell the glasses one at a time. You sell them in a grouping of 6.
right.
A dining room, let's take a dining room set or a bedroom set, but let's take a dining room set. A dining room set will typically have a bar, a server, a break front, a table, and a set of chairs. We would not sell that as one complete grouping because there are people who might want a bar or a
Right.
server and
Mhm.
not necessarily need a table and chairs.
Okay.
But the table and chairs almost, not always, there's no hard and fast rule, but almost always get sold as a single grouping.
Okay.
So a
Okay.
table plus 6 or 8 or 10 chairs,
Perfect.
plus the leaves, plus the pads, that's all one.
How many lots does a typical home have?
So your average Arlington bungalow home, 2,200 square feet plus or minus, a few hundred. If 60% of the contents or more is left for sale, then you are typically going to land at somewhere between 1,000 and 1,300 resale line items. So in the report that we issue as part of the client, the very transparent report that we deliver to the client on how their sale did is going to include a line item listing of each item or group of items by category, by type, by quantity, and by selling price. So there's a very clear, transparent communication from start to finish with the client what they can expect
When do you tell the client, I guess, what they can expect
at that appointment.
at that
Absolutely.
appointment?
Yeah, no, if I do walkthrough, by the time I'm done the walkthrough or one of my team has done the walkthrough, we can tell them this is the approximate sales bracket. We tend to work in ranges.
Okay.
Uh, I generally will work in a $4,000 range because that's a pretty safe, reliable space, and I'm never that far off. If a sale's going to do 8 to 12 or 10 to 15, something like that, that gets you a good sense of what the sale might generate, or 15 to 20 or 25 plus, that kind of thing.
Okay. So we're at the house. You give them the number.
Give them a
They
number. I tell them what the plan looks like.
okay. So you give them the plan. You say offsite or onsite at that time, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Now what happens next?
Right. I give them their options. I say, look, okay, you could do it this way, or you could do it that way, or no, this is definitely not the way to do it. This is my recommendation.
They
Right.
say, okay, Daniel, I want to move forward with the on-site sale. What happens next?
Then we put together the contract. I blaze back through the house, take a set of photos so that we can start advertising whenever they're ready. Now, if they're ready to set a date for their sale, so that maybe the house is under contract, or maybe they want it empty before the house goes on the market, then we can go ahead and schedule their date and roll out their advertising within 24 to 36 hours at the very outside. If they're not ready to schedule a date because they want to sell the house first and then run the sale, then we put in the date TBD, and I tell everybody the same thing, then I am your new best friend. So when your realtor calls you and says that you have an offer, and you go back and forth and you get to the point where you have an offer that you're planning on accepting, the last thing you should do before you sign that paperwork is to call us and make sure that we can run the sale, that we have space on our work calendar to run your sale before the settlement date. Because the
Okay.
last thing we ever want to do at for sales is in any way, shape, or form hamper the process of getting to settlement. My
Gotcha.
priority is to help them get to settlement, because at the end of the day, the real asset, the event horizon, is the sale of the home. The stuff was always going to be the minor actor.
Talk to me about the contract. What are people agreeing to when they sign the contract?
Well, they're agreeing that they are the person who can tell me to sell these things.
Okay.
They are agreeing to a commission, which ranges anywhere from 30 to 40%, depending on the approach that's taken.
Okay.
They're agreeing to the inventory that they told me was going to be for sale. They're going to let me know if they want us to clear the unsold items out of the home. So every estate sale will have residual inventory, leftovers, if you will. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers have shifted a little bit since last March, but we are still selling about 75% of the physical contents in every sale every weekend. And we are selling still between 85 and 90% of the value of what's in the home every weekend.
Okay.
So that still means there's going to be 25% of physical contents that goes unsold, and that has to go somewhere. Hire me, don't hire me. I offer those services at or around cost. For me, it's just a means to an end. I make my money on my commissions. I mean, I have nothing to hide. I make my money on my commission.
Right.
I'm making very modest net percentages. Um, but if they want the house empty, I can bring in a charity truck. I can bring in disposal trucks. And for our purposes, a disposal truck may look like a trash truck, but what it does is it donates, recycles, and disposes in that order of priority.
Right.
The goal is to put as little in the landfill as we possibly can. They might need or want paint and chemical removal services. We offer those as well. They may or may not need the removal of a piano. We can do that. Pretty much anything that's required to empty a home, I can do.
What's the lead time you want or you desire to properly advertise an estate sale?
We can do it very quickly. I mean, I can work with a week to 10 days, but ideally, my ideal advertising period is 2 to 5 weeks. So
Okay.
typically, and that's also happens to coincide with roughly when I can get people on my schedule. Don't forget, if you ratify a contract on your house, the average time to settlement is 30 days.
Right.
So my advice to you as you work with the people we're talking to tonight, Abraham,
Yes.
is you never settle on a Friday, ever. You settle on Tuesdays. That gives us the one extra weekend to run the sale.
Oh, I see.
And because of the new regulations at the transfer station, we can't do the final clearance on a Sunday. So
I
we need
see.
to have at least 1 or 2 weekdays to finish the job.
So you're saying you would like to have, in an ideal scenario, you want a minimum of 2 weeks, but a maximum of 5 weeks to properly or effectively.
Oh, well, hell, I'll take 3 months if I can get it.
You,
No, I mean, but ideally you don't want, ideally you do not, ideally you get the advertising out there so that it can simmer online for a minimum of 2 weeks.
where do people go for estate sale content?
Well, I mean, there are a number of estate sale consolidator websites on the internet.
Okay.
Estatesales.net, estatesales.org, estatesale.com, Mega Estate Sales. There's a few. There's about a half a dozen sites that are worth talking about.
Okay.
There's always Craigslist. People do advertise there. You got to be careful how you do that. There's a system that you don't get booted off.
Right.
We also have our own private mailing list of over 5,000 individuals who are specifically interested in attending estate sales.
Do they have to meet like a previous purchase history to get on that list?
No, you just go to our website and put your name in. It says get email updates.
Oh, excellent. Because I don't get those emails. I'm gonna have to go to that.
Well, that's silly.
Yeah.
we send out about 4 emails a week. Usually, here's what's coming. We're getting ready to open. Here's any discounting information or other updates about the sale, and here's any discounting or update information you need about the sale, and that gets you through the weekend, and then you start over again.
Okay. So it sounds like the main form of advertising is the internet, right? So
either part of it. We're
okay.
also in the Washington Post every week. We are still one of the few that believes that newspapers add value in terms of getting people to estate sales, because there are people who open the paper, and there's still some, it's getting less and less on a daily basis. And we also have an active text marketing program as well.
Okay.
So we're hitting it from every channel we can. It's by email, it's on, everything goes out on Facebook, on Twitter. We're using social media. We're using a variety of third-party websites. We're using our own website, which typically takes between 15 and 25,000 hits a week. Okay. We use our mailing list. We use our text list, and then we have print media.
Is there any upfront fee for your services? Do the client, like when it's time to sign the contract, is there like a check exchanged or any?
Only to get, so again, we're talking about an on-site estate sale. That's the only thing we're talking about,
That's
right?
all we're talking about. That's correct.
For this session, all we're talking about is the on-site estate sale. An on-site estate sale should not require a prepayment.
Is there anything else you do with the client um, to get them ready for the sale? I mean, because I'd imagine that they're before. Do y'all just show up before the day of the sale and say we're here?
Well, I mean, we start about a week ahead of time. So we will
Okay.
typically start on Monday or Tuesday, the week of the sale. Typically it's Tuesday, the week of the sale. We'll come in, convert their home. So they ideally they have all of the stuff that is not for sale. Ideally, I mean, again, you deal with what you're the hand you're dealt. You play the hand you're dealt. But ideally, they have all of the items that are not for sale out of the house, or at least corralled into one or two rooms, whatever's agreed to in advance. But
Okay.
we'll come in on early Tuesday morning. We get a key 14 days prior to the event starting. Nobody will be on site until the Tuesday, the week of the sale. But we've learned through painful experience that we really need to have the key in hand so that we don't have $1,000 of manpower standing on the doorstep with no way to get in.
Right. Right.
But in that one day, we're going to convert the home. If it's a really messy house, might be 2 days, but typically one day we will convert the home from their home into our retail establishment.
Ah,
And
I
then
see.
starting that evening, from that evening, so Tuesday evening through Friday morning before we open, we will price everything in the house. We may set some starter prices and then go back and do further research and evaluation and come back and make adjustments. And then Friday morning, we do a last check on that everything is ready to go. We adjust prices up or down as appropriate, so that by the time we open the doors at 9 a.m. on Friday, everything is priced and ready to go.
So the sale starts on Friday, and I guess the sale is Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes. Now there are a number of different formats, but the standard 3-day sale, which is $10,000 or more. See, we can play with the number of days a little bit. If you have a lot of stuff, we can add a fourth day. We could add a second weekend. I mean, there's things we can do.
Okay.
But typically it's Friday and Saturday 9 to 3, Sunday 9 to 1 in our case.
Does the homeowner receive like updates as far as like how the sale is going?
100%. Every night we send them a recap. This is how you did today. And this is what we're expecting for tomorrow, every night, Friday
Okay.
night, Saturday night, and Sunday night.
Is
And on
there
Sunday, we also tell them when they can expect to receive their payment.
is there anything that happens between the homeowner on that week leading up to the sale? Are they required to do anything, or is it just your manpower, your company handling everything from that end?
No, we take care of it. It's our job. We make it simple. We're a soup to nuts company.
We're at Sunday. It's 101. The
Right.
sale, the last
Sale
person,
is over.
the sale is over.
Right.
There's that 20%, 20 to 25% of the stuff
20
still
to
in the
30.
house. 20 to 30% of the stuff still there. You're loading it up on. Are you getting it out of the house at that time, or is it
We
on?
start.
You
We start.
start. Okay.
So it depends. I mean, obviously, it depends on the contract and what we've been asked to do. In a clearance model, we will have a charity, a donation vehicle on site on Sunday. Now, we are not a charity, and we are not bringing in a charity. We are bringing in our team to move those items to charity on the client's behalf. So
Okay.
that's paid service. But again, like the other support and ancillary services, it's offered at or around cost.
Is there any point in the Sunday sale? Are you just dropping the price to a point where like people will just take the stuff? Because I don't see, if people are there and they're shopping, is price their friction, or are they looking?
Well,
Or
that's part of it. But I mean, it's not, I wasn't hired to give away somebody's stuff.
gotcha,
That wasn't
gotcha.
what I was hired for.
Okay,
We discount, as does pretty much every estate sale company, we discount over the course of the weekend.
okay.
We lay that out to the client ahead of time of what they can expect.
Is the
Um,
discounting different per sale, or is the standard discounting model?
there is a middle of the road discounting model
Okay,
that by the time you get to the end to Sunday, you're at 50% off, but it can vary by
okay.
project. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do a little more, sometimes you do a little less. I, I'm I'm trying to be careful because
I understand.
there's a it's not a guaranteed thing. It's done in consultation with the client. The
Right, right,
consultation does happen before the sale starts, and then we do what's in our best judgment. But we're always operating under I always think of us as operating under the oversight of the client. What would the client want us to do?
right.
But there is also a point, keep in mind that even with the change in tax law and the change in handling of tangible personal property donations, there is still a point at which it is worth more as a write-off than it is to give it away.
Okay. So
And
when
at the
you,
end of the day, I was not hired to give away your stuff. I was hired to, for the lowest possible cost, sell as much of your stuff for the best possible return that I can.
when the donation vehicle gets there, they're going to provide the client, once they do the donation, will they provide the client with like an itemized list of the items donated, or how does that work out?
They will provide our internal processes generate a list of the items that are donatable.
Oh, that's true. Yes,
And
excellent.
then as part of the settlement package, we will send the donation receipt. So your settlement package is a settlement memo, the line item inventory of the items that sold and how much they sold for, the bank transfer information showing the direct deposit of your sale proceeds, and then in a separate file, your donation receipt if there was anything donatable and if you asked us to do it. So the donation truck is on site on Sunday, and this is a donation only service, and the they take the top layer off. Call it the good donatables.
Okay.
And then starting on Monday, we'll have our disposal. Remember, disposal for our purposes is to donate, recycle, and dispose. It's not just a trash truck. It's donate, recycle, dispose. It's a process to minimize items going in the landfill. And so that truck will be on site on Monday, and they'll be removing another layer of donatable items in addition to any recycling and things that just need to be thrown away. And that's how we get you to a broom clean, empty house. And then 2 weeks after the close of the sale, so if we close your sale on Sunday, 2 weeks from Monday, we'll deliver your settlement package via email and direct deposit the proceeds into your bank account. Or in many cases, if we're working for an attorney who's handling the estate, they'll want a physical check.
My last question is, tell me about these people who attend the estate sales. Is it like the same group of people? Always been curious about the estate following, because it seems like there's like a certain subsection of people who really enjoy estate sales.
Sure. So you have a couple of different groups that are regular attendees. You have the people who are collectors, and they're coming to sales where they see something that is in their collecting wheelhouse.
Hmm.
You have dealer resellers. You have people who come in and buy for the purposes of reselling those items. So they want to make a profit. I got no problem with somebody making a profit as long as my client gets a fair price on their sale.
Right.
Somebody else wants to turn around and sell it for more power to them. But our job is to maximize the potential return for our client.
Right.
Now, our job is not to provide them with a profit. There are those people who just like the experience of going to an estate sale. It's a great weekend activity. Good weather, bad weather, doesn't matter. It's a great thing to do and kind of do that. Then you have the looky-loos, the people in the neighborhood who want to see what that house is like that they've always walked by, or the people who are just curious about other people's homes and what they have.
Right.
And then you have people who are actively furnishing their homes.
My favorite item that I've purchased at an estate sale is a yellow Williams Sonoma pouring bowl. I think it's like a 10 quart bowl. It has a little rubber base on it. It's my favorite purchase because we cook a lot in my house. So when I'm using that bowl, it's a very sturdy bowl. Got it at a estate sale. I don't know what I paid for it. I felt like it was a good deal when we picked it up, but that's my favorite. purchase at an estate sale. So I appreciate you and your company holding estate sales. I also appreciate you coming on the show, explaining the whole process to us. What is the best way before we get into your contact information, is there anything else that you want to say that you anticipated saying that I didn't give you a chance to say?
Well, I think there's a lot more territory for us to cover. And I think you and I, because we get along, all we're doing, you and I are just shooting the breeze right now.
Right.
I think there are a lot of things that we can do together and do this in tidbits and segments that would work well for your viewers. We can spend some time talking about other options, other processes, the benefits of valuation. There's so much more to this. The reality is it's a relatively simple business, and done well, it can be an amazing experience.
Right.
But the way you get that amazing experience is you have to go with companies, with individuals working in those companies who are focused on that experience, on that client experience, and can deliver a process that's reliable. I mean, think about it, it's really kind of an interesting thing we're doing. We are able to predict results in a store that changes its location, in its inventory, and its price point in its entirety from week to week. My inner economist is coming out. I love this. I think it's fascinating.
Excellent.
So anyway, I think that you need to, when you look at an estate sale company, the message I would want to bring across is you need to look at what is their history, what is their experience, do they have good references, are they insured? Make sure that whoever talks to you about having an estate sale, and I'm talking to your viewers, Abraham, not you.
Right.
Whoever is talking to you about having an estate sale, if they are not clear and they are not concise and they are not able to make it simple, don't hire them. It's really this is not complicated. Doing it wrong has significant implications. Doing it right, it is as smooth can be. And that's what you're looking for. That peace of mind, that experience of here's what we're going to do, and then having somebody do it and deliver that experience every time. Excellent. And that's what I love to do. That's what we do so well at For Sales.
And now, how do people get in touch with you?
So the best way to get a hold of us, there are 3 basic venues. You can use our phone number, 703-256-8300. The phone is manned 20 hours a day. And if you don't get us, leave a message. We will call you back. You can go to our website where there's all kinds of information about our events. If you're a shopper, there's information about having an estate sale. If you're a seller, be sure to download the white papers. And there is a form on the website that makes it real easy to ask for estate sale, personal property sale services. Use the form. We monitor all of these different venues and channels. You know, we have a chat bot on the site as well. All of that comes in and it's all manned about 20 hours a day. So just reach out to us through any of those platforms and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about having an estate sale or auction or other services.
Excellent. Hey, Daniel, thank you so much for coming to speak with my viewers. I'm going to have you back on the show because we have a lot to uncover in your industry, and you do such a great job. You've always done a great job of speaking about your profession, so I appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you very much for having me, Mr. Walker.
My pleasure, Mr. Sanders. You take care. All right. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye.